Hello everyone, this is Grotesque Dino here again to do another locomotive review. Again, it's another Pennsylvania locomotive. Today I'm finally doing my PRR J1a 210-4 Texas type locomotive. Now, I'm going to clear some stuff first with some history. The J1a was actually a borrowed design locomotive, for those who do not know, from the C&O Railroad's T1 class 210-4 locomotive. Now, keep in mind, every railroad sometimes has the same letters and numbers as other railroads have for their locomotives, especially steam, but really they are different. So just keep that in mind, that if you're going to talk with someone who knows about trains, make sure you talk about the railroad that has a steam engine classification number or letter so that they know that what engine you're probably talking about. But anyways, this is a Paragon 3 model from Broadway Limited Imports. This is a fairly old engine, probably like 4 or 5 years old. I bought it used on eBay for around $280 without shipping, and shipping was like $20. And some people are like, oh, $300. To be honest, that was a pretty good deal. $280 for the locomotive that runs. However, there is some problems. The headlight does not work in the front. It probably just needs an LED to be replaced or something like that. I'm not 100% sure what's going on in that. I haven't really had the guts to like open it up and see what's going on, but I'll probably get to that at some point. Once I get used to working on diesels first, I think I'll then move over to steam engines, since I think the diesels are easy to work on. Yeah, this is my second steam engine for the Pennsylvania fleet that I have. My main focus is Pennsylvania, for those who do not know. It's funny, I had my first 2 steam engines for Pennsylvania were 2 big steam engines, the T1 5548 and the J1 6156. Again, it has that I think 16-wheel tender. They're massive. I love the coast-to-coast tender. The T1 has a coast-to-coast tender as well, but it's streamlined and it doesn't have the doghouse. I just love those tenders. It's so funny how massive they are. They're pretty much the size of they're bigger than a K4 as a locomotive. It's I can't imagine what these tenders look like in real life, but you'll probably see one in real life again once the T1 number 5550 gets completed. When it gets built, maybe around 2030 or something. Anywho, Broadway Limited has made these throughout pretty much every single line that they have made with their steam engines. They started with Paragon 1, Paragon 2 had some, Blue Line had some, and also Paragon 3, and I'm pretty sure they'll do Paragon 4 as well, because, who does not love a 210-4? It's a big steamer. And not only that, they also pretty much share the same design as the T1 because of history mainly. But I'm pretty sure it's not that bad because they can just swap out the cab. This is a PRR prototype cab, and I'm pretty sure that's what the PRR did to mainly change it. The main changes was the cab. I'm not sure anything else except the headlight and maybe the front pilot area. But and obviously the tender, but then PRR likes to use their own stuff mainly. And there was about 125 of these made. Now this is one of those rare occasions, I guess, when the PRR had to decide to make a whole bunch of a class of locomotive, mainly because of the war effort and the government's restrictions on locomotive design, especially making new designs. So if the Pennsylvania had the 210-2s with the N1 and N2s, they probably wanted a bigger steam engine, and unfortunately, because of the limited designs of new designs for steam engines, I guess their 210-4 was probably going to be something unique. Obviously, it's going to have a Bell Pair firebox, which the J1 does not really have. But imagine a J1 with a Bell Pair firebox. That's probably what the Pennsylvania version of the steam engine would probably look like. Again, they had to choose between two railroads that had steam power that they were looking for to borrow from, and they had the Norfolk and Western Class A and the C&O's 210-4 T1s. And if they chose the Class A from the Norfolk and Western, it would have been an FG1. They did test both locomotives. However, they decided to just roll with the 210-4s. And really, for some reason, Pennsylvania did not want to dabble a lot into articulated locomotives. I don't know why. Articulateds are really good with mountain work, but you know what? The Pennsylvania's like, no, we like solid frame axles. We don't like, they just didn't really want to get into articulateds, which is fine. It's their decision that they did. Although an FG1 would have been a very interesting locomotive. No one knows if one actually got built or not for testing purposes, but there's no records currently that really shed some light into that possibility. Most likely it's false. But you probably will see an FG1 on like Trains 2019, that video game online where you can do like realistic trains and whatnot. So the J1 was a locomotive that the Pennsylvania went with, and they only made 125, and none of them survived, which is interesting. Probably because Pennsylvania did not. I guess whoever wanted to save them just didn't really want to save them because they're not Pennsylvania designed. I don't know. It's kind of strange because these are really cool engines. They were pretty much worked until they fell apart. Not really, but probably close to, during the war effort. And right around the late 50s, the transition to diesel was kind of a pain in the ass for the Northeast railroads. And they had to, probably in the last year or so, they leased some Santa Fe 210-4s, the 5011 class, which I hope BLI does at some point. The problem with that is that they were really one road specific, and you can't really use the chassis or the shells to share with as much. I don't know if any other railroad had a 5011 class, but I'm pretty sure what they can do if they want to make it, a plastic hybrid or die-cast hybrid, they could probably, let's say, what if it says Pennsylvania on the side and whatnot on the tender, because they got leased, but I don't think they ever had put Pennsylvania under leased locomotives from ATSF. So I don't know. Some people are like, maybe it can be a brass hybrid, which it's a lot of money, But I think BLI can make another 210-4 in the regular range. I call this range the regular range, because it's around $300-$400 with DCC and sound, which is fine. I'm pretty sure if they make the Paragon 4, they'll probably price it around $500, which I think is a little bit too much. I got this for $280, and it was not even the earliest J1, so you can get what you can get, I guess. I think I got a good deal on it. Speaking of the prices, before I get into any of the details and whatnot, I see a lot of people on eBay price the older ones, especially the blue lines, are close to between, I would say, 330 or something like that to $400. And the blue lines, they do have sound with them, but they are DCC ready. Now, I'm sure that to a lot of modelers, that is great, because you don't want to, I understand the criticisms against Paragon, and I do have a lot of criticisms myself. So, however, I would probably try to bargain down to similar to where I got this for a price, because technically it's a DC locomotive. So it's a lot of money to spend for a DC locomotive. Now, some people argue, well, what about the brass models? Well, those are brass. Those are brass. This is a plastic model. This is mainly a plastic model. There is a die-cast chassis on the, like I said, it's a plastic hybrid, die-cast hybrid. Not really die-cast hybrid because it'll be mainly die-cast with plastic separately applied stuff. But it's got die-cast chassis behind there and a die-cast frame on the tender. So, I mean, you really gotta just wait for the good deals. Not to shit on those who are trying to sell at a good price, but you know, it's a used locomotive, it's old. The details haven't really changed much, so if you got like the Blue Line one, I'm pretty sure it's almost exactly the same in terms of detail. You just need to get a DCC decoder. And I don't know about the sound stuff. That I do not know. You might have to switch those out. I don't know. I never worked on a Blue Line. I probably won't. But yeah. I haven't seen any Paragon 2s as much. You know, somebody might actually tell me that they probably didn't make them. I've seen one on eBay that was Paragon 2. I don't remember the price though. Paragon 3 I have seen, and it's around 300 as well. Probably 400. It just, prices have gone up, obviously because of inflation. People are like, well, I'm gonna up my price too. So yeah, I would wait it out really to find the right ones. Make sure the details are right. Unfortunately, in this model, near the front of the smoke box over here, the grab iron support or whatever, the clamp is missing, and it's just a free grab iron right near the front. And on the other side, it's a little bit bent as well. The grab iron is also missing. Am I upset with that? No, but does it kind of? Well, yes, it kind of does count as a point away from it, but I'm not really bothered by it. I don't really see it as much. I'm not really focusing on it. I know it's there, but like, it makes the engine have some character, in my opinion. It's been through a lot of hard work. Even though it's clean, and then weather it, I'm not gonna weather on my engine. Some people are like, well, that's not realistic, and I'm like, well, it's not because I want a resale value. It's not the reason at all. It's just that my railroad is to, emphasize, kind of like what a poster of what the Pennsylvania was trying to make on their posters and their magazine covers and whatnot, just to show the proud, the sense of pride and being proud of who you're working for, and of your equipment and whatnot. And that's why I went with the clean look, especially with the freight cars. And it makes, I know it's fictional, but I don't really care. I might try weathering just for fun and shit, but not really. Anywho, let's take a closer look. I'll take her off the track. I was doing a quick run earlier. Now, the plug on this is easy to pull out. I'm glad. So we're going to take a closer look at the locomotive's detail. There we go. This engine, I have to say, has got really nice detail. All the separately applied piping and whatnot. It is amazing. And look at that. Even on the underside, if it focuses, even on the underside, it looks pretty good. I don't know why it's not focusing. It's probably because there's a lot of change in depth. But there you go. Look at the underside. That is a lot of detail. Usually there's like a gap or something, or it's just blank under there, but Broadway Limited did a really great job. Look, you can see through that, and there's still like detail. It's amazing. There's some underbody. There's where the hump where the gear is in. That drives in the middle where there's no flange, funny enough. And I will not be opening the bottom today. I'll be doing a separate series on checking and talking about the drivetrain and whatnot, talking about if the plastic gears are good enough or not. But at this point, I'm pretty sure their J1s are really good. I'm not sure about their Paragon 1 J1s. I haven't looked into those. By the way, these have traction tires on the rear. I know they look like they're dirty, and I'm pretty sure I really gotta... It's weird because the nickel looks like it's actually scraped on these wheels. I don't think that's dirt, but I'll probably clean them anyways. This is sprung, so it goes back to central position, although it's probably because it's actually for this, and then it turns as well, so it's got extra radius for turning. Now this is probably the cheapest pilot design I've ever seen, but you're really only going to see it from the side. Just not that bad, but it is rather, same with the trailing truck. It doesn't have a lot of design, but you're not going to look under these, things. But, it's a model. What are you going to do? There's the air pumps. They're way up in front. The pumps water into the boiler. And I think they have them on the same other side, too. So I'm going to turn it around. Some people might not like that. Yeah, there you go. Put water pumps on the other side. There you go. You get to see that more closely, the issue with it being damaged. But, it's not going to make me cry or anything. It's not completely broken. The details are pretty much still together. Here's the front. I really like that front. It's got that industrial design if it focuses. Let's go. There you go. A lot of stuff there. It's got that modern pilot. I like the modern pilot. Some people don't like it. I like it. I don't know. I just like the post-war stuff. To me, that's the modern steam engine. I don't know what those hatches are in that firebox. I don't know if that's to help to clean out something or what, but it's a really interesting design the C&O did. Now this is molded on this side. Just fine. It's not. Again, it's not the end of the world. And you got some these things. I don't know what these things are. I don't know, but they do something. I mean, the 210-4s are really massive engines. It's so massive. That's what I like about these engines. All right, I'll put that down. Now, I'm pretty sure if you saw the grab irons on top, when the engineer or the fireman have to climb across to the front, there was some brass showing, brass wiring. Here's the underside. You got your speakers in there. There's some underside detail. I'm not really worried about opening these up, but they're pretty much the same on the T1s. There's 16 wheels on this huge tender. They call them the coast-to-coast tender. They won't go coast-to-coast as many might think, but it could go coast-to-coast maybe in England. But it would probably still have to stop at least maybe once or twice. I mean, an English tender is probably like half of this tender, maybe even less. That's just how massive this is. It's probably 2 tenders long in terms of the English. Here's the back of... I like this doghouse design. It looks more roomy than the one I'll probably do later on with the other reviews. There's no marker lights. My Q2 has the marker lights that work. Will I add marker lights? No. I'm not really going to do that yet. Again, it says Pennsylvania, spaced out letters. Got the water hatches on top. And Pennsylvania again on the other side. Here's some of the back head for the tender. I don't think it's really focusing well. There you go. There's the tether. At first when I got this, I had to make sure the wires were not tangled together, but they can split so that when I put this together, the drawbar is not getting stuck with it and derailing my locomotive. I forgot to show the back head of my J1. I don't know if I'm a little bit shaky, but there's the back head. There's no painted dials or anything, which is kind of a shame. But it doesn't really bother me that much. There's some crew figures, fireman, and engineer inside there. It says PRR in the back of the... I never actually saw if they actually say PRR up there. I'm pretty sure they do, but you rarely see that. And there's some builder's plates. Whatnot, 6156. Alright, so let's get this engine a run. Probably plug in the tether. The tether on this is nice. It's not that bad. I usually just use 2 fingers and it just slides into place. These plugs can be finicky sometimes and they don't go all the way. And then you're wondering, why is my locomotive not working? What the heck, BLI? Oh, well. I'm gonna, it has 2 holes. I'm gonna put it closest because my curves are super wide. It's the luxury of having, like, I guess. Well, there goes my tender again. Power's already off. Now I gotta check it, see if every wheel's on. The coast-to-coast tenders can be kind of finicky. I know they're really low, and you can't really tell if their wheels are all in place. Looks like everything's in place. Just, like I said, you gotta make sure every single wheel on these coast-to-coast tenders are on there, because it looks like it is, but like I just showed you, it's not. You can't tell until you can tell. Until you feel it around a bit. Alright, so let's start her up. Track power is on. I'm going to press F9. Got my animals here again. They see me playing with trains again. Animals love trains. I don't understand why, but I guess they like their movement. They never tried to attack it, which I'm glad. They used to bark. My cat used to be like very afraid of the train. I don't know why. We used to have O-gauge stuff over here, and it was bigger, and they get scared at that a lot. Alright. Functions. Yes, we're going to go through every single function as usual. So, if you want, you can skip maybe a minute or 2 from now and probably be done. But there are some unique features. When I drive the train around, you can tell that the front headlight's not working, but I'll show right now. Rear light, headlight's working, reverse light. And just let me recenter that. So F1's the bell. I don't know why it says diesel tone. This is probably another thing. Oh well, it doesn't matter. I'll be honest, I really like that bell. I like how there's a unique bell for the J1. We're going to try the whistle. I'm pretty sure if anybody's returning from our earlier reviews, I really like the whistles. I know a lot of people are like, well, Paragon's whistles are not really the best, the sounds are not the best. And I agree to some extent. However, some people will probably tell me this is not PRR 3 chime. This sounds like a PRR 3 chime to me. I don't know why some PRR 3 chimes sound different than others, but that just seems to be the case sometimes. Function 3 is the coupler slack, which we already have activated, which just give it a nice test to see that it goes. There you go. Alrighty. Next function, function 4. I already have activated is the compressor. You might hear it from time to time. F5's this is different. I don't know why I have this diesel thing out. Let me just check my box really quick. I know, very unprofessional and whatnot. But hey, that's just how I like to do things. I like to be authentic. No, oh well, doesn't matter. F5 and 6 do more steam stuff. Not sure exactly what they do. I don't remember as much, but I think one does the water and one does the other stuff. F10, coal augers, if I can remember. F11's injectors. F12 is the brake relays. F13's grade crossing. To be honest, I do like that grade crossing. I usually don't like the grade crossing signal horn things, but this one, they did it alright. It's not taking too long to do the toots. Passenger announcements. That doesn't normally do that. I just did that because I don't want to play passenger sounds. Maintenance, freight announcements. Let's do that.
Probably going to be late. How much work have you got?
Because this is a freight locomotive.
We're all fixed up. You're ready to go.
It's interesting. This is supposed to be a freight locomotive, but it has a keystone on it. It is not a passenger freight, mixed traffic engine. I don't know why, but Pennsylvania just I think Pennsylvania just did not care anymore. Personally, that's my own theory, is that Pennsylvania just did not care anymore. Just like, just put keystones in everything at this point, because you know what? Steam's gonna die soon. Probably to make their engines look more proud and grand, I don't know. You can barely see it if it went by. We got maintenance sounds. Got more radio sounds as well. Defects, I don't know if they talked about defects or anything in real life back then, but this is all diesel radio chatter from like modern day stuff, and I don't think I'm gonna get modern day diesels. Well, I do have one, but that'll be for a later review. Alright, F18 city background sounds.
You can run on maximum authorized speed. That's
Alright, that's good. Farm backgrounds, F19.
Now, what time usually you head for the barn, over?
Got industrial background sounds. Let's see. Lumber sounds. I don't know why we're not in a... This engine will probably not be in a lumber mill. It'll probably be an H10 or something, or smaller, because this engine's a mainline engine. F22, second horn, and we're going to test that. It's not Pennsylvania prototypical, but I liked it for a while on my teen ones. It made it sound different, but I went back to the standard whistle because I thought it sounded really nice. F24 is auxiliary light control. I don't know, just none. There's no cab light on this model. And an F25 is probably one of my favorite whistle longhorns. We'll play that now. Now my only issue with it is that it sounds like it's in a tunnel. Alright, we're kind of running out of time. F26, play record. F27's record, stop, and F28's break squeal. So let's get her going.
Yeah, we'll get the junction west. We've got the engine set off there, so I'm not sure if we're going through that circuit or not. Okay, alright, good deal, good deal.
I like the chuffing on this engine. It sounds very heavy. So I'll let her run for 1 more minute. There's my box cars. Call it the Flying Bowser because they are made by Bowser. Love those box cars. My buddy Charles told me about them at train shows. He got them for like $9 a piece, some of them. And I'm like, well, shit, I gotta go to some train shows once they come back where I live. And I know there's supposed to be a lot, but I don't actively look for them because I like to go to the big shows because that's when they have like a whole bunch of stuff. But, you know, that's the thing. If you want to find stuff, you know, gotta be active. As you can see, I wouldn't move that fast, but I would move this fast probably. Now I'm sorry if I said it would be a couple minutes to do those sound stuff, but you know, shit happens. I was confused at first with the thing. It's like, oh, it says for diesel, not for steam. So we'll end this video with the engine running in the background. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, talk about it in the comments. Again, I think that you should try and get these for under 300. If I can get it for under 300, see if you can get as well, or 300 at max. They're a good locomotive. I really like them. They hold up well. Again, yeah, it's a really great locomotive. I'll probably check onto its mechanical stuff later on. Alright, well, this is Grotesque Tino heading out for the next review and the next, you know, running session. Have a good one.